Hey, welcome to the O-Scale Dutch line here in Gettysburg. Usually Stacy Powell's behind the phone running the camera, but tonight it's my wife Carrie who's joining me in the basement doing work on the layout. And I was asked to do a video on trees because we've been planting trees. We probably put about 150 into one section. So our basic tree is going to be sedum that we collect from various yards around the area, and this is essentially a stalk of sedum. So what we do is we take a stalk, and if you can show like these little leaf thingies here, there's like debris from the growing. It dries out, so we just pick these guys off and clean it up. So that eventually we end up with stalks that look like this. And to give the tree some fullness, one of the changes we made was from using a single stalk like that, we're now piecing them together, usually in three, sometimes by fours, and we hot glue gun them together. Now, I'll tell you something on hot glue guns. Do yourself a favor, buy a quality one. We're now using this nice DeWalt one. No, I don't work for DeWalt. I don't get any points from them, but this goes through a lot less glue than a cheapy Crafts one. You'll burn yourself a lot less and not use as much glue. So all we do is we just take and just put a little bead of glue in here, let it run down. Watch, it won't work on me now. Just put a little bead of glue in there. It has a nice stand. And all you do is just fold them together, hold them. And because this glue gun does not have to use a lot of heat to melt the glue, it glues very fast. And there we get the basic form of the tree. So the next step then is a little painting. And you think, well, it's a natural color. Why do I need to paint it? Well, by painting it, it helps seal it up a little bit. It helps this branch structure get a little added strength. And it also makes the tree, if you look at trees in the woods, trees aren't as brown as what you think they are. There's a lot of gray in them. So the first thing that happens is the tree is kind of held more or less upside down because we're trying to get the undergrowth of the tree, and it gets hit with a flat brown or an ultra flat brown, like a camo dark earth type color. That's the first thing. And the trick here is we're not trying to paint it, that it's a completely uniform coat. The sedum will soak some of the paint in, and that's okay. That gives us variance. Then, believe it or not, we're using a different Krylon paint. It's a textured paint, and it's called it's called textured soapstone. And when you spray this stuff at arm's length, if you can see the cap there, uh, camera may not pick it up, but there's a little bit of texture to that and some little different colors in it. And if you spray that at a little bit of arm's length, you'll see that you don't really get a uniform. It's not like a battleship gray or a haze gray. It's just a highlight on the brown. So it gives you a little variance. Once that's good and dry, the Krylon does not take long to dry. It soaks in a little. The next thing is flocking, and this is an area where another change is taking place. We used to use products like the 3M 77 or the Loctite, both good glues. The problem is this time of year it's nice to be able to work inside. Those stuff are a lot of volatility in the fumes and whatnot. So we've been using hairspray. This particular one is Suave Extra Hold, and this is a Rave 4X Mega Hold. Aquanet works very well unscented. Problem is we've bought all the Aquanet out of the local Walmart and they haven't restocked it yet, so we're using these other brands. They seem to work fine. This is an aerosol spray can. This is a pump spray. What I found is nice about the pump spray is it gives your finger a good workout, but it doesn't coat as much of the branches and stuff where we don't want flocking to go. So it's kind of nice using the pump. So it's very simple. We just take an area and give it a good soaking. This also helps any loose material, any seeds that may have not gotten knocked out in the process to get stuck and not fall off. And then flocking material, and just lightly shake it. This is a change. We're using the shakers. We were dumping this right into the shoe boxes, and we were putting the flocking on by hand. And what I found was, man, it really makes the flocking really thick on the trees. Another little quick shot to help hold it. So this lets a little bit of the natural color come through, so you see more individual leaves and not like astroturf on top of the tree. So we'll just continue on around the rest of the tree, getting these different areas. And you'll notice I'm shaking into this shoe box because we can reclaim this. So the flocking, what do you use for flocking? Well, this happens to be Scenic Express Aspen Yellow, Autumn Oak, and a burnt orange you can buy in 1 gallon bags. You're thinking, geez, how do you ever go through a gallon bag? Well, we're on the 2nd gallon and getting ready to go to the 3rd gallon to cover just one area of the layout. So we go through this a lot. However, we use foams, various fine textured foams in various greens. We use, when we do pine trees, we use a little bit of 2 millimeter static grass with conifer foam on that. So the foams give you a little variance. They give you also a little bit different color. This is kind of a chipped plastic, so it's a very vibrant color, whereas the foams can be a little more muted and they blend in very nicely. So that's the latest on how we're doing trees. I like the change. It gives a lot of bark or a lot of trunk area. Plus there's a lot of branches. This one will probably get sunk into somewhere right around here in the layout when it gets glued in. So there'll be a lot of structure. Plus the canopy that you get out of it really covers a lot of area as well. And it give you an idea of how trees get used. We just did an area that was about 2.5, 3 inches wide and about 12 feet long. And we sunk somewhere in the neighborhood of 90 trees into that little narrow area. So it really, you eat trees up very fast. And I call it feeding the layout because it's always hungry for more. So, hey, that's the latest Double K video. I hope it's worthwhile to you, and happy model railroading.